to the degree that the invitation to choose nonviolence lives in us as a demand that that's the right thing to do and that's what you should do, that becomes part of the problem. That's one piece where people trip up, I think. The second thing is, okay, so when I hear that story, let me just say this, like when I hear that story, I just feel delight. Like I love Marshall's stories. And yes, I 100% agree that we are choosing love or fear. What is running my life? Am I going to do the thing because I'm afraid and in pain and I'm outsourcing that to the rest of the world to be different so that I'm no longer afraid and in pain? Or am I going to figure out a way to love up this part of myself and to bring something different than my conditioning or my fearful self would want? That's how it lives in me. And for me, it lives a little bit more like a general intention of the direction that I want to go in, with a lot of permission to be messy and awkward along the way, because I don't want to leave any part behind. And just looping all the way back to the very first question we talked about today, about loving up your inner critic, loving up your demanding self, loving up your judgmental self. What I think is illustrated, or at least what I take from the story that Marshall told, is we will have a default reaction that is very often self-protective and judgmental and grandiose and or victim-y. That is, generally speaking, for most humans, that is our default reaction, right? I roll my eyes. I'm like, oh my God, who are these people that I have to share the planet with? That voice, that part of me, I need to make peace with her. I don't repress her. I don't judge her. I don't exile her. I make peace with her. So I notice when she shows up in me, which is what I think he's demonstrating. I notice that she's there. I breathe, but I contain her like a freaking barking dog. I don't set her loose on the world to go and damage people. I soothe her. That's the jackal that Marshall is talking about. I tend to her. I take responsibility for her. I don't outsource her to all of you. And then in my ability to do that, and this has to do with what are your values? And this is where I don't want to impose values on anyone, but my values are about reducing suffering, increasing love, increasing consciousness. Then I think about what next move is in alignment with my sense of self, with my authentic being, not what's the right thing to do, what's the thing that's going to create other people feeling the best, judging me the best. I'm not using an external condition as the guide for who I want to be in that moment. It's about who do I want to be in this moment, regardless of how everybody else is going to react to that. And that for me is just an eternal practice over and over and over again. I don't think it gets easy. The only other thing I want to say about the invitation to choose, and this is where we'll end, is we cannot choose until we are aware. It isn't a choice when we are unaware. And this is where, and I say that so that you can have a lot more compassion for all of the people who are unaware. It's not that they're choosing, it's that they don't know. It's that most people, oh, thank you. My daughter just brought me a coffee. Thank you, my sweetheart. Bye-bye. Oh, look how sweet. It's not that they are choosing to be mean. It's that they don't have enough consciousness online yet. And so very often the first thing we're doing is we're making it safe for people to become conscious. And you know what makes it safe for somebody to become conscious is to be met with non-judgment. Because when I wake up to myself and I'm met with judgment, I feel shame, and I sure as hell don't want to become conscious. I just want to make you different.